In this video, we want to talk about founding the Apple Computer Company. In 1976, when Jobs was 21 and Wozniak was 25, they founded Apple Computer in the parking lot of the Jobs family. The first personal computer that Jobs and Wozniak introduced to the market was Apple I. Introduced in 1976, the computer was priced at $666.66. In 1977, Jobs and Wozniak introduced the Apple Computer II. In 1980, Apple listed its stock on the stock exchange and became a public company. When Apple went public, it raised more capital than any initial public offering since Ford Motor Company in 1956, and immediately made more people, about 300, than any other company in history. In the same year, Apple introduced the Apple III computer, which failed commercially due to its high price and some hardware problems. As Apple grew, the company began a search for talented executives who could help it manage development and expansion. Subscribe our YouTube channel to watch the rest of this video and more. 1984 was the year of the introduction of the Macintosh computer. The computer had a Motorola 68000 processor clocked at 7.8 MHz and equipped with a mouse. About 2 months after the introduction of the Mac, only 15,000 copies were sold, which was not a strong show. The Macintosh memory was low and the floppy disk made it difficult to work with. The Macintosh, like Lisa, had a graphical user interface but lacked some of Lisa's powerful features such as multitasking and 1 MB of memory. Mike Scott says of Jobs he was always bad-tempered and capricious. His behaviors at Atari prompted him to be transferred to a night shift, but that was not possible at Apple. Mike Markella also says about Jobs he was especially violent with young programmers. There was also the issue of his health. He continued to oppose all the evidence, believing that he did not need regular deodorants or showers due to his plant-based diets. We had to politely put him behind the door and tell him to take a shower. We had to look at his dirty feet in meetings, and he did things that were annoying and confusing to his co-workers. In 1983, Jobs tempted John Scully, one of Pepsi-Cola's executives, to tempt him to work as Apple's CEO. Do you want to spend the rest of your life selling sugar and water, or do you want to have the chance to change the world? Jobs told him. In the same year, Apple introduced the Apple Lisa computer, which failed miserably despite being equipped with a graphical user interface and mouse. Jobs, on the other hand, was one of Apple's leading figures and spiritual leaders. Critics have also suggested that he was a capricious and busy manager. In 1985, a dispute arose between Jobs and Scully. "You are not good for Apple and running it," Jobs told Scully. Scully asked manager to choose between him and Jobs. They unanimously chose Scully, so Jobs was fired from his job at Apple. Jobs founded Next that year. In this part, we want to talk about some inventions of Steve Jobs and Apple Company. iPhone. Modern technology in the small body was the motto of the CEO of Apple for the best invention of 2007. The mysterious device that changed the world and turned lives around. A phone that worked without a keyboard and had features such as voice recorder, camera, and amazing features that no one could have imagined. From 2007 onwards, the mobile phone industry took on a new perspective and grew rapidly, so that Apple was able to add technologies such as GPS, internet data support, and having 3 bands on its phones. And in 2011, it could make phones with glass backs and support of 64 GB of memory. After laptops, people were looking for another surprise, something different and as functional as a laptop. Well, Steve saw the answer to that question on tablets. That's why in 2011 he made the first Apple tablet. It is interesting to know that Apple iPads sold twice as fast as iPhones, so that in 2015 Apple announced that it had sold 250 million copies of iPads. The iPads used the iPhone's iOS system until 2019, but Apple revolutionized the software design of the system and designed a laptop-like system for the iPad. Of course, the most important thing that made Apple iPads so popular was the pens in this category called the Apple Pencil. The Apple Pencil gave the user a good sense of writing and could be used to do things like take notes and draw. Basically, Apple iPads are divided into 4 categories, which we have prepared for you from weak to strong: iPad, iPad Air, iPad mini, and iPad Pro. Mac is one of the oldest Apple products and is about 34 years old. From the day that Macintosh project started, the Mac story began and continues to this day. In fact, the Mac is a system that comes with all the components. iMacs were the backbone of Apple laptops. Today's Macs are very powerful and use very good hardware, so it can be called a gaming system.